go. All right, we're talking about locating prospects or clients' information. Could use this for a variety of different reasons and different concerns. One first would be safety and concern with that. If you're coming across a new client, a new prospect, I guess start off with a new prospect, you get a new lead, not knowing who the person is. Most all of us have access to the app on our phone, and it's actually an online feature then to Forewarn. So you can use Forewarn to locate somebody's background history, things like that, as far as what they've got going on for court records, vehicle records, homeowner records. You can see phone numbers, previous addresses with that. So first and foremost, it's designed for safety and your, I guess, peace of mind, or being able to explore a person before they go too far, before you go meet them at a house 10 o'clock at night somewhere where you in a dark alley. You want to make sure you know who the hell you're talking to. Well, the other great benefit about this is actually getting people's contact information. So if you get a new lead, or from both sides, if you're listing a property or if you're on the buy side of it. So the buy side, you hopefully will have a name, a phone number, one or both of those. You can pop that information onto here, and it'll tell you, it give you some background information on that individual. So if you're on the list side of it, I just had this happen the other day. Inventory is super tight right now. So if a buyer hears of a home coming up on the market, or they know something's for sale, if they're really interested in 123 Main Street, you can a lot of times locate the seller's information, especially if they're not there, if they don't currently live there, or even if they do live there, finding their phone number, short of going and knocking on a door, sending a letter. Here's a quicker, easier way, again, as fast as the market is going. So I did this the other day. So again, if you're just looking, we'll just kind of do a quick example. So if I'm looking for a property, let's go to, well, let's just look something up here. I should have one ready here, I guess. Is there a 123 Main Street in Tiffin? I don't even know.
I don't think so.
South Main. Where's this property at here? Now let's find one here in town. What was the BEMS property? You guys know what that address is? No, that one on Sycamore Street? Yeah.
No.
They probably have it under an LLC name. Ned Bem. Well, we'll just look at it. Say Ned Bem. Say somebody says, I'm really interested in 50 Sycamore Wood Lanes. You have no idea who lives there. So easiest thing to do is going to go to the Seneca County Auditor site. We all should be pretty much familiar with that. But if not, there's 3 different ways you can search name, parcel number, or address. So if the only information you have is 50 Sycamore Wood Lane, you can go, okay, we got Ned Bem, property owner. Well, I want to really get a hold of Ned Bem. I can either go knock on the door, mail him a letter. Probably quickest and easiest thing is go to our handy dandy app, Forewarn. Ned Bem. I'll need a little bit more information. We probably don't know his date of birth and things like that, but we know he's in Tiffin, Ohio, and we'll see what comes up. Knowing Ned, he's probably got himself blocked out of here then. So Ned Bem, here we go. So 50 Sycamore Wood Lane. So odds are this is probably going to be our guy. Let's see, we got 5 phone records, 6 addresses. You know, if we're worried about what he's got, actually, I'm kind of curious what's he got going on here. Speed, creating wake. So the guy's a speed demon. But if we want his information, we'll go to phone records. And I've literally done this twice in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and have been successfully contacting people that hopefully are going to be wanting to sell their house. You'll see each phone number has a date next to it that there's last seen. I don't know if these are necessarily accurate, but I usually lean towards the one with the most recent date. So most recent one would be this one in 19/567/10/77. And I'm pretty sure actually I have Ned's number. We can kind of verify that, but it doesn't hurt just to call. And I usually don't go specifically to the person's name. I will just say, hey, I'm calling about Ned Bem, 1077. Yep, that is his cell phone number. So I just happen to have that number then. So Ned Bem, so that would be his cell phone number. There are a lot of other websites that can get information. Most of the time it is a home phone number. So Forewarn is pretty neat to where you actually do get good information. A lot of times cell phone records, things like that. So in this instance, I'd call Ned, hey, is this the owner of 50 Sycamore Wood Lane? Yes, it is. Hey, Bill Jones, Remax, just wanted to touch base. I know this call's out of the blue, but I've got somebody that's really interested in your home. Didn't know if you guys are, heard through the grapevine, that you guys are thinking of selling. Well, yes, we are. How'd you hear that? How'd you get my information? You kind of walk through those barriers. Just get to the conversation, So these people really want to see the home and just continue that conversation. So it'd be good, quick, easy way to find somebody short of getting in your car, driving, knocking on their door. I don't know, especially with COVID and everything, how receptive anybody would be to that conversation or that approach. If you take the time to mail a letter, may only take a couple days, but in that time frame, there could be, Sarah Riz and Brittany Fote, the, Shannon Hartzels of the world also knocking on their door, already having a conversation with them. So if you can kind of get in front of that, people like to talk, word gets around that, somebody is selling. So this happened a couple different times. So quick, easy way to find that. It's a little more advanced. If you really want to take it to the next level, this does require a subscription. I've had a subscription to this years ago. I'm sure it's only gotten better, but Cole Realty was actually a real estate company. I want to say they were down in Carolinas or something like that. They still are a real estate company. They created an entire resource page where you can go in there and do a lot of what is in this forewarn, only on a much larger scale. So you can get to the point to where you can say, I want a whole neighborhood. I want to farm a neighborhood. I want to phone call a neighborhood. I want to postcard a neighborhood, whatever. You can draw a map around, say, Deer Ridge or Sunny Lane, Spring Lane, and it'll pull up all the information that they have available. And they have a lot of different resources. They'll pull addresses, phone numbers, next of kin, relatives, things like that. So you can do circle prospecting. Hey, we just listed 50 Sunny Lane. Just want to call everybody in the neighborhood, let them know that, or whether it be we listed or not, say someone else lists the property. Brittany Fote puts a sign in the yard. You can just call. You don't have to say it's your listing or somebody else's listing. Just, hey, Bill Jones, Remax, just want to give you a call. 50 Sunny Lane just came up on them. I don't even know if there's a 50 Sunny Lane, but 50 Sunny Lane just came up on the market. $180,000, $250,000, whatever the price is. We're just calling everybody in the neighborhood and make sure that you guys know that, the property is for sale, or it just sold. It just went under contract in 3 days. We've got 3 or 4 families looking to move to the area. So you can use this, again, on a much bigger level. If you want to call a whole area, you could do it on a micro scale with this. You could go record by record, address by address, name by name, and look that up. It would be more, I guess this is more sweat equity, and this would be more check equity. So if you've got more money than time, I would start here. Or the other way, if you've got more time than money, start with this resource and kind of walk your way through that then. So you can get it from both sides. This will also give you a mailing list. This, you could probably create your own mailing list. There are other resources other than Cole. There's a Vulcan 7. This actually comes with a phone dialer program. There's Mojo Dialer. I'll include all these links into. These all do require a subscription. They're not bad, $100, $150 a month. But they do come with a dialer. I think this Vulcan 7 was like $300, $350 a month actually, but the Mojo Dialer I think comes a little cheaper. But this is where you can do like your circle prospecting, new listings, just under contract, just sold, open houses, market updates. So
Expired.
Expireds, yeah, you can use that for expireds or anything like that. So you can do your circle prospecting with that, or area dialing. If you are searching and you come up with a business address, a business or an LLC that owns the property, what I typically do is I go to Ohio Secretary of State, and I'll include this link on down below then too, but you could just search into Google, looking up an Ohio LLC or looking up an LLC name in Ohio, and it'll probably take you right to this site. So business name could be, whatever. So let's do
Boats and Homes.
Boats and Homes.
BOATZ.
Oh, right there. Already got her in here.
Oh,
So
you gotta do it with a Z.
With his Homes with a Z.
Yeah,
Like
no,
that?
get rid of Homez. Get rid of the E.
The Z.
Yeah, and then boats with a Z.
Boats and Homes. Okay, search. I'm gonna look that up. What do we got? Here we go. Boats and Homes. Show details. So we can go and look at the original filing. So lo and behold, one Thomas Jaguki, 62 Wentz Street, owns this limited liability company. So Boats with a Z, Homes with a Z Investments. Hard time probably finding an actual phone number, but we'll go to the registered agent. This information is not always there. Sometimes it is hidden. Sometimes if someone uses a holding company or they have an attorney file this and be the agent for it. All you're going to get is Bem and Henry LLC or something like that. So you do kind of hit a roadblock with that. You can go a little deeper with that, but you can go in there and look at the actual filings. So we can look to see who did your paperwork. So boats and homes, again, we don't have to get into all this, but you can do a lot of creepy stuff online and figure out a lot of information. So we could take, if we don't know one, Thomas J. Jaguki, is that your middle initial?
Yeah, you got lucky.
Yes. We could then take it to our Forewarn app and forewarn Mr. Jaguki and find out hopefully what his phone number is. So I won't do that to show his checkered past, so we won't have that on this recording.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're welcome. So quick, easy stuff to do. So again, this is more on the finding a home that somebody's looking to buy, generating a listing, circle prospecting an area, building your database. There's so many different things you can do with this, but just a quick, easy way. Again, the first thing you're going to do is if you get a new lead, you talk to a potential buyer, throw them in there. You can get better information, probably what they're providing to you. So you can put that into your CRM, make sure they're not, a wanted felon, that their information is as good or as you're comfortable as you're going to be. If you're not comfortable, don't show them the property. Give me a call, whatever, we'll figure out what to do with the person. But do on the buy side, but there's a lot more you can dig on the sell side, short of the door knocking, the mailing the letter. And as long as you approach those phone calls, I've had pretty good success with that. If you're not calling and say, hey, let me list your home, let me do whatever. You just call, hey, I want some information. I got this beautiful young family, really looking for a home. They'd love to move in your neighborhood. Heard your home's for sale. Is that true? Well, yeah, we're thinking about selling eventually. Or we just talked to Bob and Mary about that. Fantastic. Can you tell me a little bit more about the house? Don't get pushy. Don't get salesy. Just have a conversation with them. So, again, a lot more in depth. You can go into this with a more circle prospecting. Use Ohio Secretary of State page for business filings. That's just about it. So, unless you guys got any other questions or anything to add with that.
I guess once you reach out to those people, and I've got a young couple love to move into your neighborhood, what's the next step? I mean, do you try to meet them and go through the house and get them to sign a brokerage agreement for this young couple?
I would treat it just like a FSBO basically then too. So this is the way I've handled that, and there's probably 100 different ways you can do it then. But the way I've typically done it is let me just take in, Bob and Betty buyer, we're gonna leave their kids at home. Let me see if we can get Bob and Betty to come over, take a look at it, see if they're even interested. And from there, we'll see where it goes. If they do live it, like in this two instances, the people don't even live in the home, so I'm not worried about it. The neighbors have a key. So it's not like the seller is going to say, oh, well, hey, Bob and Betty, forget about Bill, forget about Tom. Let's you and I go talk. If the people are there, I would probably treat that just like any other FSBO. Send them a one party listing or a listing agreement. This listing agreement pertains only to Bob and Betty, all of those to be excluded. If you're calling them out of the blue, that conversation might be a little harder, possibly than a FSBO, for sale by owner. They're already getting phone calls from agents. They're getting calls from people to where they may or may not be a little more receptive to signing that one party listing agreement. If you're calling, a seller out of the blue, they're not even a seller yet. They're thinking about selling and then say, let me show you this house. Hey, sign this paperwork. I don't know that I would push that right then and there if you didn't have to, but again, you kind of take that temperature as the conversation's happening. So, but I usually then treat that as, okay, if my people are not interested, then obviously start the conversation. When are you guys thinking about selling? We've got a ton of other people looking to buy, I've got 3 or 4 families. Our office has a ton of people. We'd love to talk more about this. How much do you really want for the house? Are you interested in the price? Are you interested in a CMA on your property or valuation on your property? And just kind of keep that conversation going, just so that they're not now running around asking their neighbors and friends, I'm thinking about selling. Who do you guys use? Who do you recommend? They're already talking to you. You're already having that conversation. So, but that is just about it. Unless anybody else got anything to add into that. All right, we'll go ahead and end the recording.